Okay, so today we're going to be talking about briefing approach plates. And for the first example, we're going to talk about the ILS 9 right over at TAM Miami, or Miami Executive. So the plate here you see is the ILS localizer 9 right. The first thing you would always want to look at is the expiration date. The expiration date is going to be on the sides of the plate, left or right, and it should say there the effective date and the date expires. So you always want to make sure that your plate is up to date. Then you want to start at the title, work your way down, looking at all the important things such as frequencies, missed approach procedures, plan of action as far as where you're coming from and where you're going to go, minimums, and then rebrief again the missed approach procedure and the runway environment that you're going to look at as you come in on the ILS. So here we would start, today we're doing the ILS localizer for runway 9 right. It would either be one or the other. You should either be doing either the ILS or the localizer. So today we're going to be doing the ILS for 9 right over at Miami Executive. The localizer frequency at the top left corner there you'll see is 108.7. We should have that already tuned in to nav 1 or nav 2, whichever we're going to be using as our primary instrument for navigating the ILS. Our final approach course is going to be 093. It's just next to it on the right, and we should be twisting the CDI or our HSI to that inbound course. Now our runway landing zone is going to be 6,000 feet, so the runway has a total of 6,000 feet available for landing. The touchdown zone elevation is 10 feet, the airport elevation is 10 feet. That you should brief so you know how high you're going to be above the runway when you get to your minimums. All right, there you have a notes columns with a T and an inverted triangle and an A with a normal triangle. Those are non-standard takeoff and non-standard alternate minimum, so make sure you look at the terps to see what they need you to use that as a takeoff or alternate airport. Then you have those notes there. Always remember to read those and brief anything that is important. Next to that on the right, you're going to see the MALSAR, the Medium Intensity Approach Lighting System. It tells you that it has the sequence flashing lights, and it gives you a little illustration of what you should see as you're coming in on the approach. Now you're going to have a textual version right there on the top right-hand corner underneath the title of the approach plate that tells you of how to execute the missed approach. So the missed approach procedure is going to be climb to 2,000 and then a left turn on a heading of 088 and intercept the Dolphin VOR radio 130 to Lovely. And then you're going to hold at 14.1 DME there, which should be the hold at Lovely, and that's depicted in the plan view down below. So after that, you look at the ATIS frequency just below the note section. You should be talking to Miami Approach 125.5. You should be getting your next frequency ready for Tower 118.9, or if the tower is closed, it's going to be the Common Traffic Advisory frequency. The circle there indicates, with the L, indicates that you have pilot controlled lighting because it's shaded, and the star next to the tower means that it is a part-time, or sometimes it'll be closed when you come to this airport. Ground control is the next frequency, and clearance delivery in case you're going to need it on the ground, or if you need to talk to them, maybe you may not get tower or ground, so you may be able to call them on clearance. Now the next section here is going to be the plan view. So we're looking there, we should always brief the minimum safe altitude or minimum sector altitude in the area from the Dolphin VOR, which is that little emblem there. It's a big old circle on the top left corner of the plan view, and you have a little VOR VORTAC emblem in the middle with a 2900, meaning that the safe altitude within 25 nautical miles of the Dolphin VOR is going to be 2,900 feet. That'll keep you away from any obstacles in the area. Now, this next part you want to brief where you're coming from the north, from the south, from the east, from the west, and kind of talk about what you're going to do. If we're coming in from the east, you're going to want to intercept the localizer back course, pass Leyden, and execute the procedure turn back inbound to land at 9 right. Now, if you're coming in from the north or south, maybe even the west, you're probably going to get vectors to intercept the localizer and then do the approach to come into 9 right. Now here you can also brief the localizer frequency, and you want to look at the Morse code, that way you can identify the localizer just to make sure that you're on the right path and you're not going to be going inbound for Dolphin or some other airport that you're not supposed to be going into. Okay, on the plan view, you look at the dashed line, which tells you your missed approach procedure. So it's an illustrated version of what you're going to do in case you go missed after the missed approach point or your decision altitude. So below that, we look at the profile view, which is telling you how you're going to intercept laden, do the course reversal if you have to do the course reversal, what altitude you can expect to be at, and the altitude that you should intercept laden for your final approach fix, and your minimums just below that. You'll also see on the top right corner of the profile view another missed approach procedure. So they show you not once in textual, not twice in the plan view, but 3 times total of what you're going to do in case you have to do a missed approach. And that's going to be right there in the profile view. Climb to 2000, left turn to a heading of 088, intercept the Dolphin radial 130, and hold at Lovely. Now, if you go just below that, you're going to see the category of approach, straight in ILS minimums, straight in localizer minimums, and your circling minimums. Now, here for the ILS today, we're going to be going down to 210 feet with half a status miles of visibility. If you look off just to the right there in parentheses, you'll see our AGL numbers, which are 200 feet above the ground and still 1/2 a mile. So for a localizer approach, you'd be coming in 460 feet and a half a status miles visibility. On the right-hand side there, on the right bottom corner, you'll see the small airport diagram illustrations telling you where you can see the different lights in the airport environment that you're coming into, and any information just below it telling you about what lights for each specific runway. Now below at the bottom of that corner, you'll see a conversion chart from time and speed, speed and time, so that you know when you're going to execute your missed on a non-precision approach for the ILS localizer runway 9 right at Tam Miami.